12 houses, all in Arizona, all under $150,000. But there's a reason these prices exist, and the listing page is lying to you. In the Arizona desert, the price isn't the risk, the water is. We are in the middle of a massive water crisis. Wells are dropping hundreds of feet, and people are literally hauling water in trucks just to survive. If you're browsing cheap listings, the water source is the headline, not the price. Today, we're breaking down 12 properties. Some are expensive traps, others are actual deals, and I'm saving the absolute best one, the only one that checks every single box, for last. House number 1, Yucca, Arizona, $145,000. Local median household income, $23,036. We are starting in Yucca, Arizona, and we are starting here because this property represents the most extreme version of the risk this whole video is built around. 493 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Log cabin construction on just over an acre in Mojave County. Asking price is $145,000, and the listing explicitly says off-grid. Solar power, septic system, and hauled water. Hauled water. Let that sit for a second. That means there is no well on this property producing water. There is no municipal connection. Somebody is physically delivering water to a tank on this property, and you are buying that situation for $145,000 in a county where the median household income is $23,000 a year. Off-grid can work as a lifestyle choice. There are people who specifically want this, the isolation, the self-sufficiency, the desert quiet. If that is your thing and you understand what you are signing up for, this makes sense as a niche retreat. But as an investment, as a rental, as a house you plan to sell one day at a profit, the hauled water setup is a fundamental resale problem. The buyer pool for a property like this is narrow by design. The property taxes here are low, the carry cost is minimal, but the daily life math of managing a hauled water home in the Arizona desert, maintenance, delivery scheduling, tank storage, summer heat, is a full-time job that most buyers do not price in. This is the bottom of the list for a reason. House number 2, Topock, Arizona, $142,000. Topock is near the Colorado River, and the listing knows it. There's a recreational angle here. River access, outdoor life, the kind of desert waterfront that photographs well and pulls in buyers who are thinking about weekends, not fundamentals. But here's the reality. 400 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Unfinished casita that still needs work and an asking price of $142,000. That is a lot of money per square foot for a small, unfinished house with rural water service. The rural water connection is better than hauled water, at least something is flowing through a pipe to this property. But you are paying city-adjacent prices for a rural water situation with a house that is not finished in a lot that is less than 1/3 of an acre. The recreational appeal is real. If you are buying this as a weekend retreat and you love river life, the math might pencil out emotionally, even if it does not pencil out on paper. But as a straight housing investment, the square footage, the unfinished state, and the price point make this a gamble-first buy. The question is whether the lifestyle premium is worth it to you, not whether the deal itself is strong. House number 3, Elfrida, Arizona, $72,900. Local median household income, $49,241. Now the number drops hard and the acreage goes way up. $72,900, nearly 9 acres of land, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,272 square feet. A fixer by the listing's own description. On paper, the land-to-price ratio here is the kind of thing that stops a buyer mid-scroll. Almost 9 acres in Arizona for under $73,000? You start doing mental math immediately. Here's where it gets complicated. This property runs on a private, registered well. And in Cochise County, that's not a casual footnote, it's a central fact. Groundwater reporting in this region has documented wells dropping more than 20 feet over a 5-year window. The Attorney General's language around rural water rights in this county has been direct about the harm to rural residents from groundwater depletion. You are not buying a well with a guaranteed future. You are buying a well with a history and a trajectory that requires independent verification before you spend a dollar.
The rehab on a fixer at this size and age, budget $15,000 to $25,000, more if the systems are original. Combined with the entry price, that puts you all in somewhere between $85,000 and $100,000. The acreage has real value. The question is whether you can confirm the water situation before that value becomes a liability. House number 4, Cochise, Arizona, $85,000. Local median household income, $49,241, Cochise County. Still in Cochise County, still on a private well, still a fixer, but this one is a slightly different conversation. $85,000, 1,213 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths on 2.5 acres. The listing describes it as having great bones, which in real estate language means the structure is worth working with, not that it is close to move-in ready. That framing matters. Great bones at $85,000 in a rural Arizona county means you are buying a project with potential, not a house with certainty. The private well here carries the same groundwater concern as the Elfrida property, same county, same aquifer pressure, same questions. 2.5 acres is more manageable than nearly 9, and the price is a bit higher, but structurally you are dealing with the same risk profile. The difference is the listing suggests the house itself may be more redeemable, less of a blank slate fixer, more of a renovation-ready structure. Budget $15,000 to $25,000 for a real rehab. Get a well evaluation from a licensed hydrogeologist before you commit. That is not optional in this county right now. It is the due diligence that separates a good land deal from an expensive mistake. House number 5, Pierce, Arizona, $110,000. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,466 square feet with a den that could function as a 3rd bedroom. And this one has water company service and a sewer connection. That matters more than the price difference suggests. Moving from a private well to a water company means moving from individual groundwater risk to a regulated utility. In the broader Cochise County groundwater story, having a metered water company connection is a fundamentally different situation than depending on a well that sits in a stressed aquifer. The catch here is the interior. The listing describes basically no kitchen, a commercial-type sink, no cabinets, no appliances. That is not a cosmetic update. That is a functional room that does not exist yet. And here's something most buyers do not think about until it's too late. A house without a working kitchen cannot be financed with a conventional FHA or VA loan. Those programs require a functioning kitchen as a condition of approval. It is not negotiable. That means this property, as it sits, is almost certainly a cash buy or a hard money loan situation. No traditional lender is going to approve a house where a kitchen does not exist. So before you run any rental or flip numbers on this one, your first question is, how are you funding it? If the answer is cash or private lending, your cost of capital just went up. If the answer was going to be FHA or VA, you need to know this before you make an offer, not after. Budget for a full kitchen build-out, which in Arizona right now is realistically $15,000 to $25,000 on top of whatever other repairs the house needs. If the den requires conversion work and the rest of the house needs a refresh, total rehab spend could reach $20,000 to $35,000. And that entire number needs to come from a source that does not require a functional kitchen to close. At $110,000 entry plus that rehab range, you are all in between $130,000 and $145,000 on a house in a rural part of Cochise County. Know your exit before you commit. This is not a high-velocity resale market, but the water situation is stable, and in this part of Arizona, that's a genuine differentiator. House number 6, Tucson, Arizona, $140,000. Local median household income, $50,248. Back to the city, back to municipal water. Tucson Water is a full public utility with published annual quality reports. The infrastructure here is not a question mark. That is a meaningful step up from everything we have looked at so far on the waterfront. But this transaction is complicated in a different way. $140,000, short sale, as is. The listing requires lender approval, which adds time and uncertainty to the process. And there is a buyer-paid short sale negotiation fee, which is an unusual cost structure that most buyers do not expect to see. Make sure you understand the full cost picture before you make an offer. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,308 square feet, in a part of Tucson where the median household income is around $50,000. Commercial crime data for this zip code is rough, not disqualifying, but worth driving the neighborhood at different times before you decide anything. The house itself needs work. As is typically means the seller is not repairing anything, and the buyer is inheriting whatever condition exists. The city infrastructure here, real employment base, hospitals, transportation, rental demand, makes Tucson a fundamentally different market than the rural properties we had been looking at. The friction in this transaction is a negotiation problem, not a market problem. If you can navigate the short sale process in the as-is condition, the underlying market is solid. If you were realizing just how many traps are hidden in these listings, things the listing page will never tell you, hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm that this kind of transparency matters, and it helps more buyers find this information before they make a mistake, not after. House number 7, Bouse, Arizona, $149,000. Local median household income, $47,691, La Paz County. 20 acres, $149,000. Updated interior, detached garage, and it is on Beer Barrel Lane, which alone earns a second look. This is the most dangerous house on the list, not because it is bad, but because it looks so good. 20 acres in Arizona for under $150,000, updated with a garage. That is the kind of listing that generates immediate emotional buy-in, and emotional buy-in is exactly how people end up buying water problems. This property is in Bouse, La Paz County, right next to the Ranagras Plain, which has become one of the most closely watched groundwater depletion zones in Arizona. State water resource data has documented withdrawals outpacing natural recharge in this region by massive multiples, with one monitored well showing a drop of over 240 feet since the 1980s. That is not a slow trend, that is a steep decline. The well on this property runs on that same aquifer story. The land is real, the update is real, the garage is real. But before any of that matters, you need an independent hydrogeological evaluation of that well, its current depth, yield, and sustainability. Because 20 acres of Arizona land with a well that goes dry is not a deal. It's an expensive problem with good photos. And here's where the list starts to turn. The next 5 properties all have one thing in common: regulated utility water. No private wells, no hauled water, just actual municipal or water company service. Pay attention to how the numbers change from here. House number 8, Ajo, Arizona, $125,000. Local median household income, $53,958. Ajo, Pima County, southwest Arizona, about 10 miles from the Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument and about 50 miles from the Mexican border. It's not on everyone's radar, but it should be on yours. And before that border proximity gives you pause, do not let it. Ajo is a quiet, tight-knit community with a heavy border patrol presence that actually keeps the peace better than most big city zip codes you would never think twice about buying in. $125,000, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, 918 square feet. The listing shows partial updates: butcher block counters, a refreshed bathroom, fresh paint, an RV gate, extra parking. It still needs finishing touches, but the bones are there, and somebody has clearly put work into this. The water situation here is straightforwardly better than everything we've looked at so far. Arizona Water Company services Ajo, and their most recent annual water quality report shows the system complied with state and federal drinking water standards. That is not a guarantee of future quality, but it is a regulated utility with a compliance track record, and that's a different conversation entirely from a private rural well in a stressed aquifer. Ajo median income is around $54,000. The town has a mining history, a small but stable residential base, and a growing reputation among people looking for affordable desert living at a distance from the Phoenix sprawl. Crime signal is not perfect, but it's not the dominant concern here. At $125,000 with updates already started, this is a workable entry point if you're disciplined about finishing the job. House number 9, San Manuel, Arizona, $139,500. Local median household income,
$48,314. San Manuel sits in the San Pedro Valley in Pinal County, northeast of Tucson, former copper mining town. The infrastructure is there, sewer-connected water company service, and this listing has something you don't see often at this price: owned solar with a new inverter. Owned solar is not a small detail. In Arizona, where air conditioning costs can be significant, a working solar system with a new inverter reduces monthly operating costs meaningfully. It's a feature that has real dollar value attached to it, both for a live-in buyer and for a rental running the numbers on a rental.
$139,500. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 864 square feet. The listing reads like someone cared for it. Privacy fence, mountain views, RV parking, covered outdoor areas, a beehive fireplace, fresh exterior paint. Small house, but livable and thoughtfully maintained. Arizona Water Company services San Manuel, and their compliance record is clean. At this price, with owned solar, the monthly cost of living math is better than the sticker suggests. That is worth factoring in when you compare this to higher-priced options without solar in the same region. House number 10, Ajo, Arizona, $110,000. Local median household income, $53,958. Second Ajo property, same street, same footprint, 918 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, but $15,000 cheaper than the previous one. The listing admits this one is traditional and original, which means it needs your finishing touches. But the bones here are useful. Mini split systems already in place, covered patio, detached garage, and it is close to the school and the downtown plaza. That location within a small town matters more than people give it credit for. Proximity to the walkable core of a small community changes the tenant profile and the resale story. City water, public sewer, same Arizona Water Company infrastructure as the other Ajo property, same clean compliance record. At $110,000, with a detached garage and mini splits already installed, the starting point for your rehab is better than the price implies. You are not building comfort systems from scratch. You are finishing surfaces and updating cosmetics. That is a fundamentally different kind of project, and it changes your total investment math. House number 11, San Manuel, Arizona, $149,000. Local median household income, $48,314. $149,000. Still only 2 bedrooms and 864 square feet, but this one is a different animal. The listing reads like a finished product: expanded kitchen with new cabinets and countertops, newer HVAC, dual-pane windows, updated bathroom, washer and dryer included, covered outdoor areas and extra storage. Water company service, sewer connected. In a list full of fixer-uppers and rehabilitation projects, this is the near-finished option. You are not walking in and immediately pricing out contractors. You are walking in and deciding whether the price makes sense for a move-in ready 2-bedroom in San Manuel. And here's the honest answer: it depends on what you want. For a buyer who wants to live in it immediately with no project overhead, $149,000 is a fair price for what you're getting. For an investor looking for maximum upside, the margin is thinner because the work is already done. Somebody else absorbed that cost and priced it in. Either way, the water story here is clean. Arizona Water Company, recent compliance confirmation. That isn't exciting, but in Arizona right now, not exciting on the waterfront is actually a feature. House number 12, Ajo, Arizona, $150,000. This is the one. $150,000, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,056 square feet on a 10,000 square foot lot, garage and carport, fenced backyard, covered back porch with a built-in grill, new flooring in the kitchen, newer furnace, newer roof, updated evaporative cooler, new septic piping. And City Water, Arizona Water Company, most recent annual water quality report, compliant with state and federal drinking water standards. This is the most complete package on this entire list. Let me tell you why it lands at number 1. First, The water situation is as clean as it gets in rural Arizona. Municipal-style utility service with a documented compliance record. No well depth questions, no aquifer anxiety, no hauled water logistics. That alone separates it from most of what we have looked at today. Second, the major mechanicals have been addressed. New furnace, newer roof, new septic piping. I want to talk about these three things specifically because most buyers gloss right over them when they are scanning a listing, and that is exactly backwards. These are what I call the unsexy trio. Nobody posts a reel about a new furnace. Nobody puts updated septic piping in the thumbnail. But together, those three items represent somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000 of work that a buyer of a comparable unfixed house would have to absorb after closing. A roof replacement in Arizona runs $12,000 to $20,000, depending on size and materials. A furnace or full HVAC replacement is $8,000 to $15,000. Septic system work can run anywhere from $5,000 for a repair to $20,000 or more for a full replacement. When a listing tells you all three have been addressed and you can verify it, you are not just buying a house. You're buying a house where the previous owner already wrote those checks. That is real money. It just does not photograph well. Updated evaporative cooler on top of that. That means the remaining work is finishing and cosmetic, not structural. And in a rehab, that distinction is the difference between a controlled project and an open-ended money pit. Third, the lot is real. 10,000 square feet in Ajo gives you actual outdoor space, garage, carport, covered porch, fenced yard, a grill. For a rental or a primary residence, that livability picture is significantly better than a tight lot on a cookie-cutter house. And fourth, the price. $150,000 for all of that in a stable small community with city water, 2 baths, and updated systems is a combination that is genuinely hard to find right now, not just in Arizona, anywhere. The Ajo median income is nearly $54,000. The town has low crime relative to similar-sized desert communities, a real residential base, and a water infrastructure situation that is categorically safer than the rural well and off-grid properties at the front of this list. If you want to understand what the right cheap Arizona house looks like in 2026, this is the benchmark. 12 houses. All of them under $150,000, all of them in Arizona. And here's the takeaway I want you to walk away with. In Arizona right now, the water source is not a footnote on a listing. It is the single most important thing to verify before you make any move on a cheap house in this state. Private wells in Cochise County and the La Paz Basin are sitting inside documented groundwater decline stories. Hauled water setups are lifestyle bets, not investment bets, and the properties with actual municipal or water company connections, Ajo, San Manuel, Tucson, are not just safer housing buys, they are a different category of deal entirely. Cheap price plus bad water plus a stressed rural market equals a very expensive problem. Cheap price plus clean water plus a stable community and updated mechanicals equals what that last Ajo house is, the most defensible buy on this list. Before you make any offer on a cheap Arizona house, pull the water source from the listing. If it says well, find out when it was last tested, what the depth is, and what the groundwater situation looks like in that specific county. If it says hauled water, price the full logistics before you fall in love with the acreage. And if it says city water or water company, that's the detail worth building around. Tell me in the comments which one you would go after if you had $25,000 for repairs. I read everything. Subscribe if you are not already. More of this coming.